Alright, Jake Phelps here. In this video, I'm going to go ahead and do an oil change on a 2016 Mazda 3 iGrand Touring. Alright, and you want to do this with ramps. These are always a good investment. Ramps and good support underneath of them. I mean, it'll take you a long way because these will break. Those aluminum ones will also break. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and come up on this. If something looks out of kilter, as Sandy S's, who's running the camera, is going to let me know. She's also going to let me know when my front tires are right here. And I put the emergency brake on, and I'm also going to chock the back tires, so that everything's nice and safe and I don't gotta worry about this thing coming down on me. Alright, to change the oil on a Mazda 3 2016 iGrand Touring, you're going to need the following tools. You're going to need this hex head wrench. It's 8mm. You're going to need 8mm socket. You're going to need a socket wrench, and an extender helps. And the reason this is useful is because you can take this and give yourself a little bit more leverage. With your hex head wrench, like that. And you're going to need it. You're going to need a pipe wrench, a rather large one, as you can see. Straight head screwdriver, medium, a pair of vice grips. You're going to need an oil pan, pair of gloves, 5 quarts of fully synthetic 0W20 motor oil, the oil filter that your vehicle will take. You go to AutoZone and you know, they'll be able to pull all that stuff right up on their computer. And you're also going to need funnel. While Sandy S's gets the drop light ready, a real quick side note with this, it's really important. Make sure you chalk all of the tires and have the emergency brake on. It's really important. And the rear, chalk both sides. And I mean chalk all of the tires. Again, this is a low car and this is dangerous. So make sure all your tires are chalked. And that Sandy S's has the drop light ready. So on to the next step. Alright, and again, this is going to be the same for 2015, 2016, and 2017 Mazda 3s. More or less. Alright, so with these, you got these Mazda clips. Alright, I got my medium-sized head screwdriver. What you do with these, just put it right there, kind of wiggle it in, just like that. And then you just kind of wiggle it on out. And that's it, right there. Don't lose those. I got one more of those. And then it's time for my 8mm socket stuff. There's that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this one on. So I can spin it just like that. Alright. And now up here I have my oil drain plug and my oil filter. Yep, they fucked that up. What? The fucking thing.
lots of guys at the dealership.
Jesus Christ. That's
The
not
plug?
cool. Yeah. Alright, so here you've got your drain plug, which is right there, and you got your filter. So the first step is to go ahead and undo the drain plug, which I'm going to go ahead and do now. Alright, well, the guys at the dealership stripped this freaking thing, so I went ahead and threw a pair of vice grips on it, and I was able to loosen it, and I should be able to do the rest with the proper tool. But you shouldn't have to run it. You shouldn't run into that. What they did is they used a freaking impact or something, and were just, you know,
Careless.
yeah, just careless. So that's something you might run into because it's that recessed. It's recessed. And these drain plugs have a little washer.
You can see a little red one.
You got to make sure that's not stuck to your engine or to your oil pan, whatever. All right, here, see, you got to make sure that little washer's on there. And also, once your oil's low, you want to go ahead and take the oil, the fill cap off that's connected to your engine, so that the rest of the oil can come out before you take your filter off. All right, and with this, this is recessed and everything, and it's a pain in the butt. So what you do is one hand here, and pull, and then just kind of wiggle, and then boom, there you go. So that way when you're filling and everything, it's not some big huge deal. And then now what'll happen is air will come in, it'll make the oil drain faster. Alright, so for this tiny little filter, it was too big. So I had to put that pipe wrench on it. I guess you could also use a belt. And I still got a little ways to go.
Whew.
Now that's off. You alright, that's Sandy S's?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so for putting the filter on, and see how none of that got on me? It just dripped off the glove. That's why you gotta have gloves on. I couldn't find my latex one, so I just went ahead and used these. Now the cool thing is with this filter is it's got that on it, so I can make sure it's nice and tight. And what's really important with this you want to put a little bit of oil around this O-ring. And you also want to look up in where the old one was to make sure the O-ring from the old one isn't in there, which it's not. You want to try to use fresh oil for lubricating this gasket. Put a little bit on your pinky. Run it around. But wear latex gloves. You don't really want this stuff on your freaking hands because of carcinogens and whatnot. Sure, it's nice and lubed. Make sure your old O-ring isn't up in there. Make sure this O-ring's got lube on it. And it's also good to put a little bit of new oil in the filter also. Before you put it on. And you want to make sure it's tight. You're supposed to change that little washer in there every time too. And then what you do here is you just tighten all this stuff up. Just about until you can't tighten it anymore without breaking anything. There's torque specifications. If you do this and you don't follow the torque specifications like I am and you tear your car up, that's on you. Alright, you want to make sure your stuff's all clean inside. And here too. And then you put in your 5 quarts of oil. Before you start pouring, think about, is my filter on? Is it tight? Is my drain plug in? Is it tight? Because it's not uncommon for people to just, you know, change their oil and forget to put their plug back in or put their oil filter back on, their new one. And again, this is 0W20 weight synthetic. That's what you want to use. And with this oil and filter, you can go 5,000 miles in between oil changes. And after you do this the first time will give you a couple headaches. But then, you know, it's worth it to change your own oil. Because like I showed, you know, they stripped that freaking thing out. I ended up having to put vice grips on it. There's also stuff you can get in place of that oil plug to make it real easy to drain the old stuff out. Alright, you get your new oil in there. Check underneath to make sure nothing came out. And I didn't put the plate on the bottom yet because I want to go ahead and start it and you know, make sure I did everything right. Because if you go starting it and something isn't right under there, like you're gonna have a disaster under there because it's gonna squirt and it's gonna just fly. This way it's open, you can see it, and then you can put that on after you know everything's right. I'm just gonna let it kind of go in there a little bit.
Alright, here I go.
Okay.
Alright, so you see your wrench down here for it to indicate that you need an oil change or maintenance on the vehicle. and I'm going to go ahead and show you how to reset that. You would use the display screen that we have here. I'm using my little knob to change to the applications. So I'm going to select applications. I'm going to go down to maintenance and select that. So I have scheduled maintenance here. And as you can see, my oil change maintenance is just turned off. So I'm going to go into scheduled maintenance. And I'm going to hit reset. Are you sure you want to reset maintenance? Yes, reset. So there we go. It's reset for 5,000 miles or 4 months. And the wrench is still there because we also have the tire rotation. So I'm going to go ahead and reset that. And it's exactly the same. Just go into reset. Yes, reset. There we go. Doing 5,000 miles. Now if you come back and take a look over here, my wrench is gone. So I've gone ahead and just reset the oil change monitor.
Alright, and that's how you change the oil in the 2016 Mazda 3 iGrand Touring and other other Mazdas in around that area. They'll tell you at AutoZone which oil filter to use and which oil to use, but it's pretty much that. Now all I have to do is put the plate back on the engine and put the plate on underneath, and then move all my chock blocks, back the car up, and that's how you do it.